No.
Motion passes. Okay.
Moving on to your claims this morning. Last week, the Chancery Clerk's Office presented each of you with a packet of the claims information for this morning. The first item in that packet is a schedule of an interfund advance to be repaid. This is repaid to the General County Fund from Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance Grant number 16.804, your JAG Recovery Grant. This repayment is in the amount of $32,500.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of? Opposed to? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next item is an interfund advance. This is an advance to the Law Enforcement Liaison DUI grant from the General County Fund in the amount of $6,000.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of? Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next item is also an interfund advance. This is to Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance Grant number 66.202, which is your EPA Byron Clinton Wastewater Fund. This is from the General County Fund in the amount of $75,000.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of? Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next interfund advance is to Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance Grant number 97.067. This is your Homeland Security grants, and this is from the General County Fund in the amount of $10,000.
It's a pleasure of the board.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of? Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The final interfund advance this morning is to Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance Grant number 16.738. This was your JAG and JET grants. It is now just your JAG grant. And this advance is in the amount of $10,000 from the General County Fund.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of? Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We have two special claims this morning. The first of those is to Malachi Financial Products in the amount of $105,400, and this is for the sustainability of the Byron Clinton corridor.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Yes.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next special claim is to the reserve account for Pitney Bowes Bank. This is for postage. It is in the amount of $61,100. This is for land redemption certified mail certificates that are required to go out, and they will be going out this week or very first of next week. So we request your approval of this special claim.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second with the question, Mr. President.
Second with a question, Mr. Stokes.
This is Pitney Bowes again?
Correct. This is the new company that is doing the mailroom postage for the mail center. We run the postage meters through them now, according to Ms. Ward. This is just to cover those certified mailers. It is 10,000 certified mailers, and they cost $6.11 each. And these are required by law for upcoming tax sales maturities that would happen in August.
Okay. So we send certified mail to people.
Correct. And if their taxes are still outstanding, they get a notice.
Certified.
Certified mail notice, yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor of?
Yeah.
Opposed to?
Thank you very much.
Motion passes. Hold one second, Rep. Ms. Scoutman.
Yes, the motion prior to this one, I thought you said something about sustainability. I was distracted. Would you read that claim again, please?
The special claim for the Malachi Financial Products, it was for $105,400 for the study of the sustainability of the Byron Clinton corridor.
Okay, I adamantly oppose paying that claim, and I can go into details. And I would like to go into details and reconsider the motion.
Okay, before you do it, you have to make a motion to reconsider. And so is that your motion? Okay, we have a motion to reconsider that particular claim. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's a motion to reconsider, and there is a second. Now discussion.
Okay. As I stated early on and at prior board meetings, I have a lot of concerns regarding the feasibility study, and I think what threw me off is when Rita said sustainability. But I have a lot of concern regarding the Byron-Clinton Corps feasibility study as documented by Dr. Hill and the Malachi Financial Group. Meanwhile, when I talk about this, I want to just kind of demonstrate. I want you to pass this out to the audience. What you're about to receive now is a 11-page document for phase 1 of the Byron-Clinton Corridor's feasibility study, as documented by Dr. Hill and the Malachi Financial Product Company. A lot of the information that you'll be looking at in that 11-page document consists of information that came off the internet and from a lot of Hinds County informational resources. Also, a lot of the information that's documented came from the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District. The board voted at one of our board meetings to pay $66,000 for that 11-page document that basically, it does not address the economic impact of the Byron-Clinton Corridor. Certain board members voted to pay $66,000 for that phase 1 of the document. Anybody in this room can go online and access the information that's listed in that document. Secondly, Malachi and Dr. Hill have come back to this board to request $105,000 for phase 2 of the feasibility study. This is a 72-page document, however, and over 50% of the information that's printed in this study, again, consists of documentations from the Central Mississippi Planning Development District. Other documented sources include information that came from a Hinds County geographical database, some from the Mississippi Department of Transportation, and a lot of the information from our 2010 census. The information in this document was simply reprinted as work done by, a copy as work done by the contractor. In this information, there are a number of errors concerning the description of the corridor and the amount of money received from the federal government for the project. The study lists $1.25 million was received from the federal government. However, we have received over $30 million. And another thing that I'm most concerned about, the information that was listed in this document was based upon the premises that when Hinds County builds the corridor or builds the road for the Byron-Clinton corridor, that we would not be putting in improved infrastructure such as water, sewer, and water lines. We are putting in water, sewer, and water lines for the project. As a matter of fact, when I discussed what our plans were with the contractor, and Mr. Porter Bingham and Dr. Hill were in on that meeting, including other Hinds County employees, I recommended that the group go and speak with our engineers who are working with us to provide infrastructure. None of that information, and my point is, they knew that we were going to put in improved infrastructure. However, this entire document is based upon the premises that we would not be providing infrastructure. Also, listed in this document, well, not listed in the document, is Raymond, Mississippi. They talk about Clinton and Byron, but this document does not reference Raymond, Mississippi. Why is Raymond, Mississippi important? Raymond, Mississippi is important because we have housed in that town Hinds Junior College, we have the John Bell Williams Airport, and we have the John Bell Williams Industrial Park. Those three alone are key to the economic development on the northern end of the project. And no mention, there is no mention in this document the college. There's no mention in this document the industrial park or the airport. So now the contractor comes back to the Hinds County Board of Supervisors and requests $105,000 for phase 2, excluding the already $66,000 paid for that document that you are looking at, that you have in your possession right now. Another concern that I have is that the communities impacted by the corridor have not been involved in the initial stage of this project. If anybody knows that if you're doing a study, you're going to have to include the communities involved.
Point of information, Mr. President.
Ms. Gallo, we have a request for a point of information. Mr. Stokes.
Mr. President, I thought we had a motion to reconsider.
Correct.
On the vote that she made in favor of something she criticized.
As I said, I was distracted.
Now, if this is a motion to reconsider, then, we ought to vote up or down. She voted for this. Nobody raised her hand. Now she criticized what she voted for.
Yes.
So call the question, Mr. President.
And I am truly sorry to the taxpayers.
Call the question, Mr. President.
I was distracted and I voted for which I heard the tail ends. I heard sustainability for the Byron Clinton corridor. And if I hadn't, I didn't hear feasibility study. I just heard something about the sustainability of the Byron Clinton corridor, and I'm in favor of sustaining the corridor.
Okay,
so that's why I voted.
Okay, we have a call for the question.
But anyway, I would like to continue with my opposition.
Okay, but we have a call for the question.
Literally giving.
Call the question, Mr. President.
What the board has done is give away literally thousands of dollars to the
Ms. Calvin, we have a call for the
and
question.
this is not the only time that the board has literally given away thousands of dollars.
Ms. Calvin, we have a call for a question. Okay. All right. It has been moved and properly seconded and discussed. And we'll now vote for whether or not the motion to reconsider. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
No. Motion to reconsider fails. Okay? Ms. Greta, we can continue with the
Mr.
comments.
President, may I continue with my comments, please?
Yes. Go ahead and continue with your comments, and then Greta, we'll go ahead and go to the comments.
The payment of the bill literally represents the gouging of the taxpayers. This document here is worthless. And I apologize to the taxpayers for my inattention to the claim that was presented. Everybody in this room that has been in previous meetings know that I am totally in opposition to paying this bill. And again, I owe a sincere apology to the taxpayers.
Okay, ready to continue, please.
1 second. We have claims remaining on the docket from the April 15 docket. The first of those is claim number 3,510. This is over $100,000. This is to Motorola Solutions Credit, and this is for the 911 lease purchase payment.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second? I'm going to second that we paid this particular claim, but now at the end of the agenda, are you going to present a resolution as to how we're going to pay it, or do you need to do it now?
We can discuss that aspect of it now, and I can have a resolution when I come up.
Okay. It's been moved and properly second. Discussion.
How do you have this, that you want this resolved, worded a specific way, Mr. Caleb?
Well, the hope is that we would pay the entire amount off. And what we're proposing, after meeting with Ms. Davis and Ms. Woods and Chancellor Clerk's office as well, we're proposing that we pay off the entire lease purchase outstanding amount and refinance that with a note for a significant amount of savings. We've discovered, after talking with different financial representatives and advisors, that we would probably be able to save approximately 4 times the statutory minimum that was required for us to save money on the transaction. So we're hoping that we can satisfy our obligation on the one hand, and on the other hand, save money as well.
Okay, Mr. Stokes.
Is this the memo we received concerning Motorola, or is this AT&T?
This is Motorola. I don't know.
Or this is the memo we received concerning refinancing, where we can save 6 months before the payment is due, and all those kind of things. That this memo we received?
Yes, sir. It's a reference to that.
So do you have to have that item approved first?
Well, we can bring the resolution under my name.
Okay.
But this is a suggestion you made concerning instead of us going to get another company that's extending this and they pay this off.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Callen.
This is another attempt to literally give away thousands of dollars for another contract to the Malachi Group. First of all, the contract that was written up for the Malachi Group has not been executed and has not come back before this board for approval. In this particular contract, the members of the board that voted to move forward in negotiating the contract is requested that a comprehensive financial audit be conducted for the E911 departments. When the company presented their contract, it listed more than developing a comprehensive financial plan for the E911 department. The company listed in its contract language that it shall provide financial advisory services to Hinds County related to the issuance of a general obligation bond. This board has not discussed, and nor will you find in any of our board minutes where we have discussed issuing a general obligation bond to pay off any debt for the E911 account or for any other reason at this juncture. No such discussion has taken place. Also listed in the particular contract is language that states that the payment of the company fees for the services will be subject to successful closing and financial settlement, and the company's services will be payable from the bonds. Again, this board has not discussed issuing any bonds. It is not necessary to pay for financial audit of the E911 department. It appears that by adding this additional language in a contract that's supposed to speak only to developing a comprehensive financial plan, that this is another attempt by the company to receive additional funds. As a matter of fact, they presented this contract in a phase 1 and a phase 2 category. For phase 1, they're asking for, the company is asking to be compensated for phase 1 for not more than $140,000. They have not listed their price tag for phase 2. The Board of Supervisors has an audit department, and that is our fiscal officer, our finance department. Based upon the information that's listed in the contract, they are simply duplicating the same functions that our finance department serves. They are saying that they will review all of our expenditures. Our fiscal officer does that on a daily basis. She has to do it in order to prepare a budget for all departments. She looks at their actual performance, monitors the performance, and compare that performance to any variances. In the contract, the Malachi Group says that they would make multi-year projections of our expenditures and of our revenues. Here again, that is the responsibility of our finance department. In the contract language, Malachi says that they will provide us with a model, a plan and model. Again, our finance department also prepares and develops and put the information on spreadsheets. They use the Lotus and the Excel spreadsheets. Likewise, the finance department evaluates and analyzes the operating budgets for all departments. Again, the Malachi Group is proposing to do the same thing, a duplication of services. I'm not finished, Mr. President, because I think the general public needs to know what is going on. We have board members that are willing to allow this company to lead our county's coffers. The Malachi Group is from Atlanta, Georgia, and certain board members are consistent in repeatedly giving contracts to this particular company. At least this board could work with companies within Hinds County so that it would help to increase our tax base. The total year funds given to this company for 2 contracts is approximately $311,000. And again, this is for work that is unsatisfactory. I think that it is ridiculous. Now, the company was providing a quality product. I can see us working with the individuals.
Okay, Ms. Calhoun, we have a couple of board members that want to speak on this issue as
But they're
well.
not providing quality products.
Okay, Mr. Fisher, then Mr. Stokes.
I understand the motion. As I understand the motion right now, we're voting on whether or not to pay the $723,000. The contract or any changes to the payment for next year is a separate issue.
These are separate issues.
Right, so they have to be voted on separately.
Right. But the point that I was trying to make was that, as you mentioned, the payment that is past due right now is $723,000. Well, in doing some research, we've determined that we can save over the course of the term for that $3.6, $3.7 million amount that is owed, roughly $300,000 to $400,000. And we can receive savings in the immediate in roughly $100 and some odd $1,000 each year for the next couple of years. And so what I was proposing was that we refinance the entire amount as opposed to being obligated or putting ourselves in a crunch and putting some of those E911 funds, which some have said is in jeopardy. I haven't made a determination. Other people have said that's the case. But we would save that fund well over $100,000 this year alone.
Now, I think that, as I understand it, and having talked to Motorola myself, the entire $723,500 is due now.
Correct.
That's not negotiable.
Past due.
The past due amount.
Yes.
That's one motion. The second motion would be then to go back and renegotiate, and that gets into the discussion we're having over here. But that's the second motion. It's not one. It can't be one motion in its entirety because we have a past due amount, and it's due now. And then we have whatever that $723,000 deducted off the $3.4 million or whatever it is then what we're talking about.
Well, this is what I would say is that if you paid the $723,000 now without refinancing the entire amount, then you would lose about $100 and possibly over $180,000 this year.
Now, we have to pay that entire amount. We have to pay the $723,000.
Yes, and we do have to pay the $723,000. The most fiscally prudent way to do that is to pay the entire amount off and refinance it so that you can get over $100 and some odd $1,000 worth of savings this year and over roughly $400,000 worth of savings over the course of the year.
I mean, all that's fine. I haven't seen any paperwork on that. I just don't have that in front of me. But right now, we have to vote on the $723,000 and whether or not to pay that back. That's what's in front of us, and that's what's overdue since March 15th, I believe. Maybe 15th, March 15th. But that's the first issue we voted on. If we're going to go into any more financial refinancing or anything else, I need to see some paperwork, and I'd like to have some discussions between meetings on that to make sure. I'm not ready to vote on something like that today.
Well, neither am I.
But I am ready to vote on the to pay Motorola, which is what I understood the motion to be.
That's what the motion is. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. And, Mr. President, I heard a whole lot of hoopla that's completely away from the truth. But, I have a copy of the motion that I made that was done on February 19th, 2013. And it reads as follows. Supervisor Stokes requested a representative from Malachi Financial Products to discuss the need for a county comprehensive financial plan. A comprehensive financial plan. And then it further states, Mr. Day advised that a full comprehensive plan would include a look at the entire picture. The entire picture is we're spending millions of dollars on a parkway that will never be built. We giving millions, I ain't talking about thousands, millions of dollars for right of way over there at the Clinton Barrow Parkway. We just spending money that the county could even spend on other things. We don't have summer job for the children. We don't have mosquito spraying. We don't have a planning department. We don't have any of that. And yet we keep spending millions. I'm not talking about thousands. I'm talking about millions. Every meeting, if you look at the end of the agenda, you go in executive session on Byron Clinton Parkway, where this man come in and approve more right of way, and ain't nothing gonna be built. That's why we need a financial plan to let us know who we are. Why are we spending so much money on a Byron Clinton Parkway that is never gonna be completed when we got other needs in this county? Yes, we need to hire somebody to get us out this mess, because I ain't going to jail for nobody up here. Thank you.
Mr. President, may I make some corrections?
Mrs. Calhoun.
The funds that are being dispersed for the Byron Clinton Parkway are federal dollars that have been set aside for only one purpose, and that purpose is for the construction of the Byron Clinton Parkway, the Byron Clinton corridor. As a matter of fact, the funds that have been dispersed for the right-of-way are reimbursed back to the county from our state aid office. We can hire hundreds of youths in the city of Jackson, but none of those funds can go toward the payment of the jobs for any youth. So when the supervisor speaks of millions of dollars that have been spent, we can account for. As a matter of fact, the funds cannot be released even for the right-of-way until state aid proves the amount that is being paid for all settlements for the right-of-way. The funds, again, that are being spent are not from the Hinds County's coffers or the Hinds County, general funds. Those funds are federal dollars that, were appropriated to Hinds County back in 1991 or 1992. And those funds have been sitting in an account. As a matter of fact, when we go to Washington, and there was an attempt early on, all federal dollars that have not been spent for projects, the federal government is looking at rescinding those dollars, taking those dollars back, and appropriating those dollars toward projects, toward counties or cities or states that are willing to move a project, get the project off of the table. Now, we have managed to hold on to the over $30 million that have been appropriated to Hinds County by going to Washington each year saying, okay, to our congressional delegation. Now, our congressional delegation has even emphasized and stressed to us that if we don't spend the $30 million that have been set aside, that they are going to take the dollars back and give those dollars to counties that are willing to spend the money. You can't just receive money and not spend it. You have to spend it. So for Supervisor Soch to say that Hinds Countyans are spending millions of dollars on a project, that is not correct information. These are federal dollars that are being monitored by our Mississippi Transportation Department through the division of our state aid government.
Okay.
None of that money has been misappropriated. And as a matter of fact, out of the 30 million, 6 million has been spent on the section of I-55 to down through Sidewell Road. Another, I forgot exactly how much, how many millions of dollars of that 30 has been spent up near the Bolton area at the North Railroad Clinton interchange. So the funds are being spent properly.
Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now the people here can see why we need a financial advisor. Because what she's saying is absolutely nonsense. Have we not, and this is Ms. Woods who handles the money for the county, and I hate to put you in the middle of this. How much have we spent to date on the Clinton Parkway? Estimate. Estimate. Have we spent millions? Yes or no?
We have spent from our state aid.
We have spent millions.
Yes.
Have we paid hundreds of thousands for right of way? Yes or no?
Yes, we have spent monies on right away as well.
Hundreds of thousands for one property.
I'm not exactly.
That's what I'm saying. We need a financial advisor because we throwing all this money at something that's not going to be completed. Now they make it sound like, oh no, this is a good thing. How it's going to be a good thing when it's not going to be completed? The only way this can be completed if it's a bond issue that the citizens in Jackson got to vote on, and they say they're not voting in favor of it. That's money that can be used for other things. We have even reauthorized some bond money to go into the Clinton Parkway. It's absolutely nonsense. Thank you.
Mr. President, that money is being reimbursed back to the county's coffers. And we're talking about spending federal dollars. And these are dollars set aside specifically for the corridor. And the funds cannot be spent on anything else but the Byron Clinton corridor. The Mississippi Federal Highway Administration has allowed us to construct the corridor in segments. We are attempting to construct the first segment. Then later on, we will construct the second segment. And as we receive more funds, then we will start building the middle of it. But Supervisor Stokes, we can either spend the money here in Hinds County or send the money back to Washington.
What we're going to...
At this juncture, that's where the money is going to go because we cannot spend federal funds for anything else. And Ms. Woods and our Public Works Director or anybody else or our court attorney can tell you that those federal dollars cannot be spent on anything but the Byron Clinton corridor. And every penny that's being spent is monitored. The auditors that this board is trying to bring in cannot audit those funds. Those funds are being audited by the state. That's it.
Mr. Stokes is that we have spent millions. I'm going back to the same point. Millions for something that's not going to be completed. The federal government do not send you money in here to use for something that's not going to be completed. There's not a completed plan anywhere. We talk about pie in the sky. Oh, we're going to get money from over here. We're going to get money from over there. But you stay spending. Now, when that federal money is spent up and nothing be somebody going to be here alive. It ain't going to be Kenny Stokes. I vote no, and I say it publicly and openly. This is a cash cow for somebody's friend. Now, that's why I'm saying we need an investigation, because we got friends who got hidden issues in here, and some of these supervisors know who their friends are. Thank you.
Okay, what we're going to do is go ahead and vote on this particular issue. It is a claim. All those in favor of paying, we're voting on the claim for to pay the Motorola bill.
Again,
Yeah,
overdue
just-
$723,500. Okay.
Correct.
No, don't say anything else.
Yeah.
We're going to get lost in here.
Yeah.
Right. It is just about that
Right.
lease purchase claim. But as I stated, there is one fiscally responsible way to do that, and that's to pay the entire amount that's due. But to do it, with the refinancing. But if you just paid the $723,000 amount, you would lose a significant amount of savings by doing it that way.
Okay. All right. Now, all those...
Mr. President.
Okay, just hold 1 second, please. Let's make sure that everyone, I think we've talked about this enough. But go ahead, Ms. Gallen, if you have a question regarding the $723,000.
What is the motion, please?
The motion is to approve claim number 3,510 to Motorola Solutions Credit.
Without the refinancing.
It does, that has nothing to do with this motion.
Well, how are we going to pay?
We have a check that's sitting in the vault waiting to be released.
One of the things I think that we can do is we'll go ahead and vote on this particular claim. If the claim fails, then we'll make another motion, the motion to pay off the entire amount, which is, to me, makes sense, so where we can save over $300,000 and just go ahead and pay them all and be finished with it, instead of just piecemealing and doing that particular way. So it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of paying the claim, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed to? Nay.
No.
Motion fails.
Wait a
Now,
minute. You seconded the motion,
I know,
and now you're voting against paying?
that's correct. Because I didn't know that we were going to have to do two particular motions at the end.
Well, we're not, because I can't be in favor of a motion or in a repaying, a payment schedule that I haven't reviewed or
Right.
seen. I'm not
It's,
voting up to that.
I mean, that's your prerogative.
Well, that's what you call a railroad right here.
No. Okay, continue with the claims, Greg.
Well, what you trying to do?
The next claim is also from the April 15 docket. It is claim number 3,560. It is also over $100,000, and this is to the city of Byron.
Okay, all those in favor of?
Wait a minute, you need a motion first?
Okay, need a motion.
Move for approval?
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
No. Motion fails.
Thank you very much. The next, I put the wrong date on this, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The next claim is from the May 6th docket. It is claim number 3,914. It is to Airwave Consultant Company, and we present that for your approval.
Okay, all those in favor of?
So moved.
Excuse me, we did a motion too.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Yes.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion fails. Okay?
Thank you very much. Let's see where I'm at there. Moving to today's claims docket.
Okay.
Claims are numbers 4,187 through 4,513. The first claims of interest for today is claim number 4,271. This is for the Mississippi Valley Title Building. It is a utility bill. We present that for your approval.
It's a pleasure, board.
Move for approval?
It's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second? I'll second. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
Not vote, Mr. President.
One not voting. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next,
My
Mr.
question
Stokes.
on that building, I know tentatively they said we have a sale. Do we have a signed contract on it? Maybe I need to ask legal on that. And I keep asking that question because we keep paying money for utilities for a building not going to use and a building that like it's not going to be our possession too much longer.
Yes. There is a signed contract, but we're holding that contingent upon the financing of the project. But there is a signed contract, yes.
Contingent on what, they don't have the money lined up or?
The money's scheduled to be lined up, but we will discuss all of those potential matters with you as well.
Can we amend the contract?
You can vote to do a number of different things.
Well, I feel that since we still paying money for utilities and those kind of things, that it's time for us, if they're going to purchase, it's time for them. How much good faith money do we have up front?
I'd have to check and see exactly what those numbers are.
Well, I want to make sure we amend the contract if they're serious about it, and they need to take these utilities up. The next thing is, it's time to, the old folks say, we will get off the pot. They don't have the money. And it's time for us to look at amend this contract, ask for some more, because it's too many variables. It seems like they're looking for money here, there, and everywhere, and if this don't come through, then we're going to be stuck with this building. And I don't like the word stuck, and I don't see nothing wrong with it, but it's time for them to get us out of this. If they got the money, pay us. If they don't have the money, they still looking for money, then, at least they can take up the utilities. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
you already carried the last motion.
Okay, sorry.
Moving on to the next claim of interest, it is claim number 4,378. It is to AT&T in the amount of $120.92. This is for long distance for 911 and county telephone.
What's the pleasure, board?
It's the AT&T, correct? So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next claim of interest is claim number 4,415. This is to the Hampton Inn Biloxi, and this is reservations for Ms. Lily Woods and Ms. Carmen Davis for the convention.
So
Pleasure.
moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Yes.
Opposed to? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next claim of interest is claim number 4,472. It is to Airwave Consultant Company. It is in the amount of $30,511.25.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? I'll second. It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in
President.
question for Mr. Stokes?
Is this a legitimate contract?
You have a contract for this. It is a quarterly payment for the maintenance of the grounds at your towers. That's my understanding. Is that correct,
Have
Mr.
you
Chairman?
reviewed the contract? Is this?
Those contracts preceded me. They're long time running, from my understanding.
Do we have obligation to pay contract?
We certainly have obligations to pay legitimate claims and report.
All right, thank you.
All those in favor of?
Yes.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion fails. Continue, please.
Thank you very much. Moving on to your claims over $100,000 this morning. The first of those is claim number 4,319 to AT&T for $129,354.77. That is for your 911 service.
It's a pleasure to board.
Move for approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next, your remaining claims over $100,000 this morning are 4,187 to Bancorp South in the amount of $238,021.90. This is a reissue of the payment that was made in April, and Bancorp South did not receive that check, so we have issued them a new check. Claim number 4,295 is to Hinds Community College in the amount of $287,930.26. This is their April tax settlement. Claim number 4,309 is to the Mississippi State Treasurer in the amount of $117,664.25. This is their April tax settlement. And claim number 4,380 is to Dell Services Sales in the amount of $109,938.31 for computers for the Sheriff's Office.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
The remaining item in your packet were your grant claims, and they do appear to be in order this morning. We present the remaining claims for you, claim numbers 4,187 through 4,513, less claim numbers 4,271, 4,187, 4,295, 4,309, 4,319, 4,378, 4,380, 4,415, and 4,472. We present the remaining claims for your approval.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. President,
One second.
I would like again for, since we approved the entire claims docket, for the claim concerning the Malachi group to be extracted.
It has already been extracted, ma'am. That claim was already, that was a special claim.
Okay.
Okay.
It does not have a claim number at this time.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
No.
Motion passes.
We have the order approving the claims portion of the minutes for today, Monday, June 3rd, 2013, for your approval.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Again, I want to know if I can make a special request, since it was extracted earlier, be extracted again for the final approval of all the claims.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly, I will second it. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed to?
Not voting, Mr. President.
When not voting, motion passes.
Just a comment, your comments will be included in the claims order. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will continue with our printed agenda. We'll now go to Supervisor from District 3. Is this Calvin?